Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Good morning, it's the Workers Beat. I'm Gene Lantz, and I'm here with Bunny.
Matthias, good morning.
We're doing the Workers Beat, which is about workers. Yes, that kind of makes sense.
The Workers Beat is about workers' issues. What do you think?
The Dallas AFL-CIO is busy working on helping get its candidates through the runoff election. And among those candidates are David Alamil, who was endorsed by the state, and locally the legislative committee, whose director is sitting right next to me.
Political committee.
The political committee, okay, and you decided that we were going to stay with our endorsements that we made before the first primary.
Our committee decided.
And
I didn't decide.
You want to announce which candidates those are?
Can you tell me which ones they are? I know Susan Motley is one.
Yeah, she's running for
District
state rep.
105.
Yeah, that's Irving and Grand Prairie.
Yes.
And in JP races, I know Sarah Martinez is one, and Sister Huebner is one, Katie
Huebner, woohoo, love her.
And Medrano for
Pauline
county treasurer.
Medrano.
Pauline Medrano.
That's right.
I think that's all of them
yes,
that are in runoffs.
Right.
I think we won 79 out of our 86 endorsements,
right.
So that was really very good. So Dexo is a company that does cafeteria work at Texas Christian University, and they will have a union election on Monday. So we're pulling for the Sodexo people. It's hard to stand up to management.
Yes, it is.
And they're going to do it on Monday. On March the 24th at 6:30, we'll stand with women. I think that's at Clyde Warren Park. We'll talk about that some more in a minute. On March 27th at the Valley View Theater, the Cesar Chavez movie starts. Now, this has got really good reviews.
Yeah.
And if you don't know much about Cesar Chavez, or if you do, then you want to come. His birthday's the 31st. So March the 27th is a good time to celebrate Cesar Chavez. There will be a march in Fort Worth that Saturday, I think. I guess that'll be the 29th. But I don't know much details about it, except that we always try to find Gerardo Contreras and the UAW float down there by the convention center around 9 in the morning on that Saturday. On April the 5th, which I guess is a week from today, at 11 o'clock, there'll be a rally against corruption at Clyde Warren Park.
That's 2 weeks.
If you know stuff that's going on that's of interest to working people and you want to tell us about it, 972-647-1893. I just had a really good call from Move On leader Deborah Beltran. The Move On is adopting the ALEC fight as their major issue over the next few months. And they're going to be calling for buses to come in from other cities to help us protest against this snake, ALEC, which is the American Legislative Exchange Council, an organization that writes and promotes anti-worker legislation all over the United States. And of course they're coming here. This is kind of like the pit,
the hotbed,
the pit where they breed awful things.
Like Ted Cruz.
That will be July 30th through August the 1st, and we do not know the time and place yet of protests. We're just trying to get everybody together so that we won't make a mistake and have 10 different protests or something like that, and try to get it together to fight against this anti-worker legislative group. So to that end, we've brought in the coordinator for Jobs with Justice, Rosemarie Rieger. Good morning, Rosemarie.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, you're going to be talking about ALEC on your next meeting. When is that?
April 9th, we're meeting at 1408 North Washington. That's the home of the unions, many unions, and the AFL-CIO.
And it's Bonnie's Union Hall.
That's
It is.
right, yeah.
And that's at 7 o'clock?
It's at 7 o'clock, and we invite all groups and all people interested to come together and talk about ALEC and what we can do, and to make a big movement together, because only when we work together, we'll be strong enough to fight this.
Yeah, you can just lay around and just say, well, it doesn't bother me or it doesn't concern me, but actually it does. They pass all kinds of legislation that affects you, and they bring together the right-wing legislators, especially the Texas ones, and the awful corporation, the big money from corporations, including Walmart and several other big corporations, and they make sure that their legislation passes because they have enough money to bribe enough people to get almost anything passed, and a whole bunch of awful legislation has been passed. You know any examples, Rosemary, of what they've passed?
Some of the laws, I think, are the stand your ground type laws that we've seen pass in Florida. The one that I'm not sure now if it was used in the Trayvon Martin case.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So laws like that, for instance.
Yeah, and they passed the laws that took away union rights in Wisconsin. We had all those big demonstrations up in Wisconsin. They passed laws to make it difficult or impossible for unions to collect their dues. They passed laws to make it difficult or impossible for unions to do anything at all, and for working people to have any voice at all in politics. And more and more and more, they just keep pouring this stuff out. It's really hard to tell exactly what they did because their tracks are pretty well covered. And in fact, I don't think anybody even knew about them until maybe 3 years ago, something like that. Now that people are finding out about them, they're having a little more trouble raising money because the cockroaches don't like the light, folks. The cockroaches don't like the light. So when people start finding out what they're doing, then there's a good possibility that you can stop or curtail their activities. If you have anything for us, call us at 972-647-1893. Rosemary Rieger's here, coordinator for North Texas Jobs with Justice. What's Jobs with Justice and what does it do?
We're a group that builds coalitions between community groups, unions, students, all kinds of groups that want to work on worker justice issues. So our main focus is on getting everyone together to fight for worker rights issues.
What kind of things have you been doing and what are you planning to do?
Some of the things we've been doing is, for instance, supporting the Walmart workers in their fight for more respect, higher wages, and so forth. We've been doing a lot of that. We just recently had an International Women's Day event at the AFL-CIO home, and we attracted about 170 people, and we had the president of the Texas AFL-CIO speak, Becky Moeller, and she gave a very powerful speech on how important it is for women to stand together and to organize, especially in this year and especially in Texas.
Yes.
That was the best International Women's Day celebration I've seen in North Texas. How about you, Bonnie? What did you think of it?
I honestly have not attended anything prior to this. And it was great. It was really great. You had some super folks there with their brochures and talking about what women's rights, not just not just reproductive rights. We're talking about equal pay for equal work. I'm just appalled at some of the stuff I've been hearing coming out of the GOP this week. Governor Abbott. Oh my God, that was a serious faux pas.
General Abbott.
General Abbott. I like that. I really like that. General Abbott. He says it doesn't matter that women are paid less. It's okay.
Yeah.
That the market will fix it.
Well, he says they don't have time to negotiate better wage.
Right, and that's another thing that's good that you point that out, because that's what we're doing on Monday. We're calling for a rally and march to stand with women, equal pay for equal work, and at this event we are calling on women to come together and to to stand up just for like what you mentioned, Bonnie, that there is this big pay gap, and that women, aren't too busy, like someone from the GOP said, to go to the courts and demand equal pay for equal work, but we do need that. Women make about 77 cents on every dollar a man makes, and for women of color, the pay gap is even greater. It's 64 cents for every dollar for African American women, and 55 cents on the dollar for Hispanic women.
Oh my Lord, that's horrible.
And this hasn't changed.
And we're the ones that do all the work. What is up with that?
Right.
972-647-1893 if you've got a comment. And it's also true, it recently came out, that General Abbott's office also has a big pay discrepancy between men and women.
I read that.
And he's denied it this way and that, but the Dallas Morning News reporters are kind of put him in a box on that, because they say in Texas that women make $35,453 while men make $44,802, and it's no exception in Abbott's own office.
That's really, well, now we know why his opinions. I mean, at least he stands by his word,
Well, he stands by his word to the extent that he actually won a lawsuit in which he won the idea that federal protection for women's pay does not apply in Texas. Now, I don't know what he argued. I guess he just said, we're different.
Texas is different. We don't have to.
There are federal protections for women's pay,
Right.
but Abbott successfully argued against it.
Yeah, I think first he argued that the Lilly Ledbetter, the federal act, covers Texas, and there the statute of limitations had run out for this professor from Prairie View A&M University who brought on the lawsuit, and but now first he argues it covers, and then now he's arguing that Texas, doesn't fall under that. So.
Mm-hmm. So Texas women don't get any protection thanks to General Abbott. 972-647-1893. And you're also interested on Monday in women's health issues.
That's right. On the 25th, on Tuesday, the Supreme Court is hearing the Hobby Lobby case, Sebelius, I think it is, versus Hobby Lobby. And here, Hobby Lobby, which is a company that has, I think, over 500 stores in different states, and they're saying that out of religious reasons, they do not want to provide contraception in the medical plan that they offer their female employees.
So it's their religion to persecute women.
Yep. I think that's it, right? I mean,
That's what they're saying.
That's what it sounds like.
And
so,
then once they do that, it's a slippery slope to, use that against
Whatever
LGBT
else.
community or whatever else they want to.
that's what they've been arguing about gays. They've been different companies have been arguing we don't have to extend rights to gays because of our religion.
Right. That's the
Our religion
Arizona
says we
law.
have to-
Right.
Yeah.
And I think there was something introduced in Georgia that if you were a member of the KKK, you did not have to open your business to African Americans.
So that's your religion.
man.
Your religion is to be in the Ku Klux Klan.
There you go.
Well, my religion is that unions are a really good thing.
I know, mine too, right? So, hey,
So we should sue somebody.
who can we sue?
Greg Abbott.
Greg Abbott, yay!
Let's be clear. This is a workers' beat program. Let's be clear on what the union's position is on these things. Unions stand for equal treatment for everybody. It's not a matter of one kind of religion or one kind of ideology or something like that. It's a matter of fairness and equal treatment, and the unions do that because that's how you bring people together, and that's the strength of unionism, is bringing people together. It's not
right.
exactly that unions are pro-women.
No.
Unions are just pro-everybody.
Yeah, we're pro. Everybody gets treated the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, that you're a union officer or an elected official. Everybody gets treated the same. That's it.
Let me ask you, Bonnie, as a union officer, do Are there any union contracts that allow women to be paid less than men for the same job?
None.
So all union contracts, if you're under a union contract, you're going to get fair treatment.
That's right.
If
You
you're
get the
not,
same
not under a union,
benefits.
unfortunately, not very many people are under union contracts, and that's why we have this big giant pay disparity for women. Is that not right, Rosemary?
That's true, and I found a number actually that female union members earn over $200 per week more than women who are not represented by unions. So
Wow.
the wage gap is
That's
still
huge.
there in the numbers. Like women make about 90.6% of what their male counterparts make. So I don't know how they figured that out, but
Maybe because women are more in clerical titles, maybe
That's-
where men may be technical titles. But of course, that's changing too. So
We have one caller online. Do we want to take it before the break or hold it till after the break? Okay, caller, just wait, and after the break you'll be able to talk longer. 972-647-1893 is the time. I'm here with Bonnie Mathias and Rosemary Rieger, and we're talking about fair treatment for women. And you say the demonstration is Monday.
Monday, Clyde Warren Park, 6:30.
6:30.
Clyde Warren Park is downtown. It actually goes over the top of Woodall Rogers.
That's right, and we'll be between Olive and Pearl Street, so look for a big crowd of women and men. Hopefully,
Men
we'll
too.
have.
Yeah, you guys are welcome. It's cool.
Is there
You-
parking down there?
In
At
the
that time
arts,
of day, there should be a lot of street parking.
in the Arts District, there's.
Okay, we have to take a break. We'll be right back. Saturday morning.
Here we are, Saturday.
972-647-1893 is the number. The lady who just called wanted to know, Rosemary, when is this rally and where is the rally and how can she find it on Facebook?
Okay. Well, it'll be on Monday, the 24th. That's this coming Monday at 6:30, Clyde Warren Park between Pearl and Olive Street. Just look for the crowd of people. And we have a Facebook page. It's Jobs-with-Justice-Texas. And if you go there, you will, if you scroll through our feed, you should find pretty much at the top an invitation, and there's a link to an event page, and there you can sign up.
I never can remember all the hyphens, but I just put in Job with Justice Texas
And
and
it
it
should
comes
pop up, right.
Randy's online too. Let's bring him on. Good morning, Randy. Thanks for calling KNON.
Good morning, you guys. I got a hypothetical question. Gene, what union are you involved in?
I beg your pardon?
What union are you involved in?
I'm a UAW member, auto workers member.
Auto workers, okay. Yeah, there's a lot of men working in that thing, ain't they?
Yeah, there are a lot of men,
Okay,
a lot
well,
of
here-
women too.
I understand. Here's my question. Since the men and women in the union are trying to increase the women's wages to where they make the same dollar amount as the men, right?
Yep.
Okay. Here's my question, Gene. Can you go to your next union meeting and stand up and say, all right, men, we are going to propose a strike until our fellow worker gets the same amount of money, until we come back tomorrow and the lady working next to me doing the same thing I'm doing gets the same pay I'm getting.
She already does. She already does.
Yeah, I could do that, Randy, but they would just laugh at me because
The union member already gets the same pay.
we've had that since World War II.
Okay, so in the union industry, if you hire in, you're making the same pay as the man.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right. At the same pay
If
grade.
you're doing the same job, yeah.
That's right.
If you're doing the same
Okay,
job.
well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. So that's what you're trying to do at Walmart and stuff like that. Well, because originally, when they started putting women in the workplace, I think they were trying to say they were doing the right thing, but what's transpired over the last 30 or 40-something years where women came more into the workforce is there's been a stagnant wage increase for all of us. So they used women for this in the same way they use immigrant workers in order to keep the whole wage down. So yeah, if you're a non-union person, I guess that's what we should suggest to everybody else. Look, I'm not coming in tomorrow to work on this car for you unless my fellow worker makes the same thing.
That would be cool.
That'd be great.
If we could do that, if we could do that all at once nationwide, I think it would work.
Yep.
But if we don't do it all together, if you try to do it one at a time, you'd probably get fired.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, it's just like I was going to suggest about the, we have this issue about fracking, and everybody uses natural gas and this and that and that and this. One time in the past when they were having gas issues, the truckers lined up and stopped, created a backlog, and then people wouldn't use gas for a day or so. You think it would be a good idea if we call don't use no natural gas day sometime this year and say, we ain't going to turn on the heater, we ain't going to cook on the stove, we take a shower tomorrow so we don't use hot water, and just one day, everybody we can get not to consume natural gas. Do you think that would make a wave in their bottom line enough to get their attention if we did something like that consistently, a couple times a year?
The trick is
mass.
Yeah, the trick is getting everybody to do it. If everybody did it, if everybody did almost anything, if we get all working people to do almost anything together, like take a 5 minutes off work, or everybody come in late one day, or everybody leave early one day, or if we could get everybody to do it, yeah, it would work. But the trick is trying to get from here to there.
There you go.
All right, you guys.
Thanks, Randy.
I'll talk to you later.
Thanks so much, Randy. And you can call us at 972-647-1893. KNON literally loves it when you call.
Yeah.
Rosemary, what else you got there?
Okay, well, I just wanted to point out, too, that we're working with Code Pink and other groups on our event here, Stand With Women, and it's being co-sponsored by Dallas Move On, also Pax Christi Dallas, the Dallas Peace Center, Hope for Peace and Justice, and the Fort Worth Move On group. So we this is a coalition, and we're working together because only together will we get things done. And we have speakers lined up. Heather Busby, who's the executive director of Narrow Pro-Choice Texas. She's coming up from Austin. We have Kelly Hart, the senior director of government relations at Planned Parenthood of Greater Texas. We have Samina Karmali, who's coming. She's a candidate state representative District 89, and Catherine McGovern, former district attorney.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Art's on the line. Let's bring him on. You can call us, too, at 972-647-1893. Good morning, Art. Thanks for calling.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning. Hey, I just want to call in just real quick to let you guys know that I want to tell Bonnie, thank you very much for everything that you're doing for us and helping us out, especially what we were all doing on Wednesday, and that we're actually starting to see some movement in our company with everything that we're doing.
So you're trying to get a contract in your company, Art? Is that it?
Well, we have one.
No, we have one, yes, sir.
Well, we got some unfair labor practices going on.
Oh, you're trying to get the company to live up to the contract.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the hard part, isn't it?
But I think we're moving in the right direction. The National Labor Relations Board is very interested in our case and has conducted several hours of interviews and has a few more hours interviews to take affidavits from employees. So I'm very excited about the direction that we're moving.
That's great.
I just wanted to let y'all know I appreciate everything y'all do, and we all got a whole bunch of listeners out there listening. So
excellent.
We appreciate what y'all do.
Thank you,
All right.
Art.
Thanks so much, Art.
No
See you next Thursday.
Deborah's on the line. You can call us at 972-647-1893. Good morning, Deborah. Thanks for calling KNON.
Thank you, Jean. How are y'all doing?
Hi,
Good.
Deborah.
And hi, Deborah.
Hey, Bonnie. Hey, Rosemary. I was wondering if you could talk about Alec coming to town and the scheduled Jobs with Justice meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Is that for everybody? Is that a closed meeting? If you could just talk about that, I'd appreciate some more information.
Give us your opinion on Alec while you're on the line, though.
Well, I think it's just absolutely ridiculous that they're allowed to write our laws, and they work for the corporation. So, to me, that's a conflict of interest.
Uh-huh.
And I just don't understand how they can even be allowed to exist, really.
It's part of the corporate takeover of American democracy, isn't it?
It sure is.
They're robbing our democracy.
They are, and you can imagine they're writing the laws for the people that they work for, and it's just a conflict of interest, even in your working life. You know about conflict of interest, so it's just crazy.
I know that Walmart is one of the corporations that's been financing ALEC. I don't know any of the others. Do you, off the top of your head?
Was it? I think McDonald's.
Well, the insurance companies. I understand ALEC behind the insurance companies pushing for a separate policy for birth control pills.
Right.
Really?
Right.
But one thing that they're solidly behind that you can tell all the time is that they're for low wages. They're dead set against increases in the minimum wage, for example, or equal wage laws at local levels, that sort of thing. You can always tell who your enemies are because there's a line, and the line is over wages and benefits, but it's not complicated when you just look at wages. There's a line, and some people are on one side of it for higher wages, and the other side is for lower wages, and ALEC is a particular planning center for those that are for low wages.
Yep, that's.
I agree.
They're all over it. That's this whole what is that home rule BS that they're trying to spout here in Dallas.
That's the kind of thing ALEC does.
That's
too.
That when I first heard about it, my first response was, "This has the Koch brothers written all over it." They want to privatize everything.
The Koch brothers are big oil executives.
Guys,
they're
yeah,
billionaires, and they finance anti-worker legislation, and they finance ALEC.
ALEC, that's right. Big financiers of ALEC.
They make Dixie cups. I don't know what else they make.
Oh.
There's no boycott. I'm not calling a boycott or anything,
no.
but they do make Dixie cups, and everybody drinks out of Dixie cups one way or the other. The Koch brothers. And Walmart, and you said McDonald's, other big corporations. It's very hard to find all this out because they're a very secretive organization. They don't want anybody to know what they're doing. The cockroaches don't like the light. 972-647-1893 if you want to call us. Deborah, you got anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, so you want
ExxonMobil's having their shareholders meeting, I believe in May, so we're gearing up for that as well.
Will that be at the Symphony Center?
Morton Meyerson, like it was last time?
I'm not sure. We'll get all that information together in plenty of time, but that's always
people don't realize that Exxon, which is one of the most rapacious of all of the oil companies, has its international headquarters in Irving.
Sure do.
So there's a lot of really bad things happen in the Dallas area. Thanks, Deborah, for reminding us that we should protest Exxon when they come, and the people that are upset about the environment and fracking and that sort of thing, they can go to the Exxon protest.
As taxpayers, we need to go and ask to be let in, and so we know where our tax money's going.
Isn't that the truth?
Because ExxonMobil gets federal subsidies.
Huge federal subsidies. Thank you, dear. Have a great day.
Now, Deborah wanted Rosemary to talk about the April 9th planning meeting, but Joe's on the line. Let's have Joe first.
Hey,
Morning,
Gene,
Joe.
how you doing?
Thanks for calling.
All righty. Just real quick, your partner in crime there stated last week, I believe it was, and it'd be very fitting today for her to repeat that. If the 99% stands up and vote, the 1% won't matter. Have a good day.
Amen, my friend. That is so true. That's it. That is my new mantra.
And we got another election coming up. Not to mention
2 of them.
Not to mention the school board elections.
School board election is the 1st of May. There's
and I
3
hope
districts.
everybody remembers that somebody's trying to take over the public
schools.
They're trying to take the public out of the public schools.
Did you see where Mike Miles came out this week and said he didn't think that was the answer?
Well, he said it didn't make any difference. He said that the state laws are not getting in the way.
Right.
So,
I mean, he came up with this Destination 2020, and quite frankly, parts of it are working well.
And that contradicted what the mayor and the billionaires are saying, which is that the schools would be greatly helped if they could get out from under state laws and regulations. It's just a lie.
Yep.
That's not what it's about at all. They want the public schools. They want to take over the Dallas public schools. Just imagine all the real estate, for example. Must be millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate underneath all those schools. And they have a budget of something like $1.5 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
So they want to take that over. They want to
their
privatize
hands on
that,
their money.
put it into the private sector, and basically run it themselves instead of having it run by the public.
Isn't that kind of union busting also?
Oh yeah, because it annihilates the teachers' agreements.
It's disgusting.
Absolutely.
It's disgusting. It's union busting. They've even gone so far as to say that they want every employee at the Dallas Independent School District to have no rights.
That's right.
They want them to be
at-will employees.
At-will employees, and that was in the morning news.
Yep.
But Rosemary, you were asked to talk about your April 9th meeting, where you're going to be talking about ALEC and making it clear.
Right, so April 9th, if you're interested, come to 1408 North Washington Avenue. That's in Lower East Dallas. And everyone's invited, if you're part of a community group or if you're just a concerned citizen, come and help us plan. This is about getting everyone together and to brainstorm what can we do and who will do what and move forward there so that we can build a big movement against ALEC when they come to town.
I'm hoping that by then we'll know exactly what our options are, what part of town we want to be in.
Right,
that sort of
yes. So far, as far as I know, I checked the website a few days ago, and it wasn't announced. All they said is they're coming. They're having the meeting in Dallas and more information to follow, so we really don't know yet which convention center or hotel they'll be in.
I know one good target that we could do, even though we don't know where they're going to be having their convention. One good target would be City Hall, and I'll tell you why. The mayor is behind so much of this crap that's going on. He's the main spokesperson for privatizing the public schools. That's Mayor Rawlings, Rawlings. If we don't have 10 progressive people running against him in the next election, I'd like to know why not, because the mayor himself, it's the mayor himself that's bragging on today's paper that they've already raised $60 million to give to the Republicans to come to Dallas for the Republican convention in 2016. It's the mayor, folks, that's behind this stuff, and I have no doubt in my mind that when ALEC was picking a city to have their national convention at, I have no doubt in my mind that it was the mayor that invited them and is probably going to speak in their opening exercises and welcome them to the city. Mayor Rawlings. Now, I want to see a bunch of progressive people running against Mayor Rawlings whenever his next election, whenever he has to face the people again, because the stuff that he's been doing, and he's been doing it in secret, it's union busting and it's disgusting. It's almost time for us to take a break, but Rosemary, April the 9th, 7 o'clock.
April 9th, 7 o'clock. That's our monthly meeting. Everyone's invited. And we also have on Wednesday, April 2nd, if you're interested in religion and labor, we have another event coming up, and we call it Labor and Faith, What is the Connection? And we have a series of 3 meetings. This is the second one, and we have Reverend Ed Middleton speaking of First Community Church in Dallas.
I have to come.
Yeah,
I love Ed. He's great.
And this is interesting. We also have Professor Jorgrieger from SMU. He'll be leading the discussion afterwards, and we'll be thinking about, is there a connection, and does it make a difference, faith and labor?
Awesome.
Okay, we're taking a break. Be right back. We're back on the Workers Beat, and you can call us at 972-647-1893. A lot of people are calling.
Yeah.
And that's good. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
The station really loves it when you call. Now, I want to get this said. If it doesn't have nothing to do with nothing else, I still want to get this said. There was a headline in yesterday's morning news. a large percentage of our millions of long-term unemployed may never get a job again.
Yeah.
That was the headline in the morning news.
I saw that. That's pretty depressing.
I think there's 3.8 million long-term unemployed in America, and it said some large percentage of them will never get a job again. They'll never be employed again. So what are they? I guess they're going to become bandits. What else can they do?
Well, I guess because the GOP's going to cut all the safety nets for everybody. No more long-term unemployment benefits. You can't get food stamps because you probably, who knows?
If they legalize marijuana, you won't be able to sell marijuana for a living.
Well, I don't.
Or grow marijuana for a living.
Probably not.
So what are you going to do? You rent a gun, I guess. You wouldn't be able to buy one.
No.
Rent a gun and go out and hold up your fellow citizens.
I know. Let's have there's a name of a new store.
What kind of society says that? We've got 3.8 million people, and most of them will never get another job for as long as they live.
That's seriously depressing.
Well, yeah, what does it say about us? 972-647-1893. We're talking with Rosemary Rieger, who's got his long list of things that are happening with Job with Justice. And you mentioned, Rosemary, that you tried a coalition different groups together, and you talked about some religious groups and a religious meeting that's just about to take place. And you've also talked about your connection with the women's movement. Is this a trend? Is labor starting to come out of its shell? Because I know from about 1947 to about 1995, unions really didn't have anything to do with anybody else. Hardly ever.
Yeah, I think this is a new trend, and the labor movement, the AFL-CIO passed resolutions in, I believe it was September, specifically, saying that they wanted to reach out and become more active in the community and become more engaged with worker centers, with religious groups, faith communities as part of the community, and so. This is a new trend and growing, and I know that faith communities too are interested in making connections and other community groups. So I think people are waking up and realizing that everyone just doing their own thing isn't going to get us very far, and so when we work together, we can. It's easier for everyone to attain the goal.
What's the name of the AFL-CIO committee that you're heading?
I'm part of the Community Engagement Committee, and this is a committee that was recently started, and I think it was November last year, and we are interviewing community groups to see what people are working on and what the issues are in the community and where we can plug in and help build something that would change Dallas, make it a better place for all working families.
Let's take a caller on line 4. Thanks for calling KNON.
Yes.
Hey, Marjorie.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I have a question. Does any union or any other org have any plans for Labor Day? May Day.
Uh-huh. The question was, is anything going on for May Day? Do you know, Rosemary?
May Day, I think, is the 1st of May. I don't know what day of the week it is. I don't know of anything. There was some plans, but I think now groups have consolidated to have a big celebration, kind of a labor and International Children's Day celebration on May 25th.
That's it. Yes, ma'am.
I put this out yesterday.
Okay.
I told 2,500 people by email that it was going to happen on May the 1st, but it's not. It's May the 25th. Rosemary,
Okay.
Marjorie, what should happen on May the 1st?
Well, I'm not sure. I was just taking a people's temperature. There is a lot of stuff going on, and you mentioned earlier that May 24th is the Exoff stockholders meeting. Maybe the energy should go there instead. But I wanted to just see what was or was not going on. Maybe here in Dallas, with the stockholders meeting and the event you just mentioned regarding children, maybe the energy here in the Metroplex needs to go there. And another complication, which is every year in Texas, is the conflict with Cinco de Mayo. But I just wanted to know what people's plans were, and so I know where energy was to be directed.
You also, Marjorie, while I've got you online, didn't you call the action for next Saturday?
No, it's Saturday week. It's April 5th.
Okay.
And last fall, an anti-corruption piece of legislation was introduced, and MarchAgainstCorruption.com site was established to promote it. There was a March Against Corruption in Dallas in November, but it was the same time as a Walmart action out in Balch Springs, and so that was kind of a little bit of sloppy scheduling. But there does need to be the original date for an action this spring was March 1st, but Dallas and a lot of places couldn't get something going on. In some places, the weather was pretty bad, so I checked schedules and noticed that April 5th would be a better date locally. And this is going to be a chance for ordinary citizens to speak out, not necessarily a leader of some established NGO or a politician running for office or something, but for ordinary citizens to be able to speak about how corruption has affected them personally, affected their families, and affected the issues that they are being confronted with daily.
Okay, and that's at 11 o'clock on April the 5th at Clyde Warren Park.
Yes, and do you recall where the anti-PPP rally in March began? It'll be the same location.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks very much for calling, Marjorie.
Okay, thank you, and I'll see you probably on April 2nd, if not sooner.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
I want to ask my colleagues that are sitting right here at the table with me, though, don't you think that the privatization of the Dallas Independent School District is about as corrupt as anything you've ever heard of?
Yep.
Speaking of corruption,
it's certainly, if anybody caught the interview with Brad Shipp, I think that's his name, he was trying to interview one of the board members of the Support Our Public Schools, and he had no answers. And, he said, so what are the systemic problems that DISD has? Well, there are many problems. Mm-hmm. Well, can you name one specific problem? And
I can name one. I can name one. They've cut the budget.
There you go.
They've taken away the money. These people have been trying to destroy the public school system for years, decades.
Yep.
They've been cutting their funding, raising the pressure on the classrooms and the teachers, turning everything toward the tests, and taking away the whole heart and soul of the whole idea of educating children and for their own benefit.
Yeah, because there's no cognitive thinking anymore.
Right.
It's all test taking.
And this has all come from the politicians. The very people who have been just trying to destroy the school system for all this time are now coming along and saying, oh, we want to help. We want to help the children. I don't know if you saw you see the screed that I put in the Dallas Morning News yesterday in the Oak Cliff section. They have a little I think it's Oak Cliff and Grand Prairie is the insert that comes to me in my house. And they have a little sound off thing, and the question was, what do you think about the privatization of the Dallas public schools? And I did not beat around the bush about it. I told them that this was a monstrosity, and that the people have been trying to destroy the schools all this time are now suddenly saying that they want to help them, when in fact all they want is to get their hands on the money.
That's
Another
right.
caller, good. Let's bring him or her on. Thanks for calling Knon.
Yes, good morning. Ms. Rieger, where is this meeting on the 2nd of April being held, and at what time is it going, the meeting on the faith and the workers and legislation?
Yes, thanks for asking. It's April 2nd, also at 1408 North Washington Avenue, that's Lower East Dallas, and it'll take place at 7 p.m. to 8:30, and it's open to everyone. So,
Thank you.
If you need any more information, you can get it on our Facebook page. That's Jobs with Justice Texas, or we have a website at www.labordallas.org.
Perfect. That's great. Thanks for your help.
Thank you.
And most of these things are also on the AFL-CIO's website. You can Google Dallas AFL-CIO. It's kind of a long site name. It's tx.aflcio.org/DallasCLC. So it's kind of a long one. But you can just Google Dallas AFL-CIO and you'll get it. 972-647-1893. There's still time for another caller or two. And we were talking with Rosemary Rieger about changes in the labor movement, and you've pointed out that the labor movement and the faith movement are pulling closer together. I mean, you had quite a bit to do with that.
That's right, and but what's amazing, I mean, people in Texas and the South, you know, their faith is a big component in their life, and people are starting to see that you can't separate that. You can't go to church on Sunday and, you know, lead your church life and then go back to work during the week, and that your faith can be a powerful force when you look at injustice that's happening in the workplace, and you know, all workers experience that. So
let me tell a story. About, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I got a call from the state AFL-CIO. They were going to have a convention here in Dallas, and they said, "Do you know any preachers at all in Dallas?" And I was, because they didn't know a single one, because they had not been working with a single faith leader in the Dallas area. Fortunately, I was with Job with Justice. And Rosemary, you've been bringing people to the Dallas AFL-CIO Labor Day breakfast every September for some time.
That's right. We have a table, and we invite ministers, pastors. We have a good connection to SMU, to the Perkins School of Theology, and their faculty and people there that are interested in these questions on faith and labor.
And some are really enthusiastic about it, like Reverend Ed Middleton, for example.
Reverend Ed Middleton, Reverend Keith Stewart and Garland. Yeah,
coming
so
out to Walmart activities.
Right.
Pastor Stovall. Don't forget Pastor Stovall.
Right.
And they keep making the point, Jesus was a worker.
Yes.
That's astounding, you know, because
he's a carpenter.
I've heard people say that their religion was against unions, which is just crazy, because Jesus was a worker, and he was a carpenter, and he was practicing his trade, and if there was a guild or something to be in, I'm sure he was in it.
Moses was an organizer.
Yeah, Moses was a union organizer.
That's right.
He organized the slaves.
He sure did.
Actually, in the Methodist tradition, in the Book of Discipline, I believe it is, I hope I'm right, there's actually statements where the church says, you know, we believe in the right to bargain and collective bargaining. So, and they're not the only tradition. So,
no, I've got a big long list of statements by leaders such as Billy Graham, Pope. I don't remember which Pope, but anyway, there are statements in there quoting the Bible, which basically says you have to treat the workers right, and it's all through the Bible, and so why haven't unions and churches been working together all these years? Well, the problem is the big money, because the big money is totally anti-union, and the big money, unfortunately, is what churches rely on to a large extent. So there's been this big schism, big artificial schism driven between church folks and union folks, and that's being overcome now, thanks to people like Rosemary Rieger.
Yes, Rosemary's awesome.
and the women's movement.
Yes,
there's been frictions between the women's movement and the union movement in the past, but that's being overcome. And the fact that you just did the best International Women's Day celebration that I've ever seen, and you did it in the Union Hall.
That's right, and we worked with the Women's Alliance for Leadership, is a group here in Dallas, very active in the LGBTQ community, and so we were happy to work with Mia Dia and others in that group. And
yeah, but Mark York, the head of the Dallas AFL-CIO, is solidly behiund these things.
Yep,
that's correct.
He sure is.
Yeah, without the support there from the AFL-CIO and other unions like CWA and UAW and UFCW, we couldn't do this work. So.
Yeah, I hate to sound like it's over dramatic or anything, but the truth is, it's a new day for working people.
Yes.
The opportunity to work together, to unify, is there, and in a way that hasn't been available for 75 years.
That's right.
Any final words, anybody? Because we're going.
Yeah, join Jobs with Justice. Check out our Facebook page. And come to our events.
Now, you guys be kind. I'm going to be gone for the next 2 weeks, so be kind to Gene. Don't be mean to her.
Don't pick on Gene. We have to go. We appreciate very much that you listened.
Bye-bye.
Make way for Rita.
Bye.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.